Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I told you that President Lula da Silva Balebiba, president of Brazil, is a, you know what I mean, communist, more or less. I think more. And he's got good instincts because if you know, the communists don't like the capitalists. So Lula is, how should I put it, steering Brazil definitely towards China, Russia, and the BRICS countries. What did he do now? He comes out and says clearly that he wants to end the dollar's domination as the global reserve currency. Got that? Got that? All right. What does he want to do? He wants to create a common in the BRICS, a common currency that would substitute, will just kick the dollar out. Now this has been, in talks and all that, but it seems like it's in an accelerated direction. So let's see, I have two articles here where we have Lula da Silva, the president of Brazil, telling us straight, he's in China right now. You know what I mean? All right. So this article comes from Bloomberg and is from April 13th, 2023. And the other one comes from Business Insider, April 13th, 2023. Different authors. So, it seems like it looks like this because it's from Yahoo Finance. So let's start with Bloomberg. Lula backs BRICS currency to replace dollar in foreign trade. You know who she is? Oh my God. Okay. I think she's going to be, he pushed for her to be the president of the BRICS Bank. Now, I don't know if she was allowed. She was indicted in Brazil. I think she was also jailed for some fraud, finance fraud or something. You can't make shit up. Anyway, Brazil's Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva called on BRICS nations to come up with an alternative to replace the dollar and foreign trade, supporting China's crusade against U.S. global dominance just as he prepares to meet with President Xi Jinping in Beijing. I thought they were already there. Putin, I think he's already there. Putin already spoke about this many times, and not only. And Putin warned the United States of America, you do this, we're going to do this. And Americans are still living in the little bubble. Oh, they're not going to do anything about it. Okay. Lula's remarks were made on Thursday during a visit to the Shanghai-based New Development Bank, an institution created by BRICS countries, which along with Brazil and China include Russia, India, and South Africa. That's the one that I was talking about with this person right here. Right here. All right, so here she is, former Brazil President Dilma Rousseff. Just look in her history, and she was a communist activist. Not, I think he surpasses Mr. Lula's in his communist activism. But hey, so former Brazil President Dilma Rousseff is the bank's new chief executive. So she is now. And I'm quoting, why can't an institution like the BRICS Bank have a currency to finance trade relations between Brazil and China, between Brazil and all the other BRICS countries? And quote, he says, and I'm quoting again, who decided that the dollar was the trade currency after the end of gold parity? They did. They did, and because it was the most stable at that point. But hey, you know how that goes, right? So let's go to the other one right here. Again, Brazil's president wants to end dollar's dominance and backs calls for BRICS nations to use their own currency first. There he is. There he is. Brazil's president urged BRICS countries to develop a new currency and move away from the dollar. That comes as Brazil and China strengthen ties, recently agreeing to use the yuan in cross-border trade. However, an analyst sees dollarization as unlikely, given the lack of good replacements. You see, this kind of attitude is the attitude of, if you remember the Aesop fables, that ancient Greek guy who wrote those fables, the hare and the turtle, or tortoise, whatever you want to call it. You know, the Americans are the hare, the bunny, the, how do you call it, the rabbit. And the other guys are just the turtle. But slowly and surely, the turtle will cross the finish line first. I'm almost certain that will happen if they don't cave in to the American pressure, military pressure in Taiwan, in Ukraine, and elsewhere. I'm waiting for Lula da Silva to have a little revolution soon on his hands. We'll find out about that one, because I said many times, unfortunately, it seems like the United States of America lost the ability to negotiate, to use reason, to use charm, to really be diplomatic. Why? Because they didn't need it. They had this in the past 30 years, and they ruled with this. And they created a situation, an environment where people, countries, are afraid. Before, the United States were seen as everyone wanted the United States to come. Hey, come to Romania. I hope the Americans are coming. I don't know if the same feeling is in Romania as it used to be. Not as strong. Why? Because the United States, unfortunately, the government, not the people, but the people elect the, you know what I mean? And that guy then appoints his government, if you know what I mean. So they made a lot of this kind in the world. So countries are afraid. You may argue that, hey, if you have nothing to hide, you know, and you're good, you shouldn't be afraid. But hey, who gave you the authority to say who's good and bad? Nobody. So why don't you shut up? Okay, so that's another thing. So after all these interventions, a lot of countries are scared and they look for alternatives. And Brazil, Russia, China, South Africa, is going to be Saudi Arabia, is going to be Turkey, is going to be Iran, and many more. Argentina, I think it was Algeria, Egypt, there's Syria. You say, oh, those are wizard countries. Well, that's an alternative. And when you have an alternative, you have competition. When you have competition, that's good. So and the other countries will wait for that. A lot of African countries did not forget colonization with its sins, and not only, because colonization did not have only okay, so don't sell me that one. Why? I'm not saying that, just read about it. Anyway, if the colonizer would take back everything that they brought over there, if they could get the pain as well, then I don't know, that's for a different conversation. But I'm just saying, the African countries did not forget those guys, and did not forget others as well. The problem is, what I don't really like about this situation with the African countries is the idea that they have to have someone. But it is like in a neighborhood. If you are a small business owner, you will pay protection to someone, to a group of thugs. Now, if these guys abuse you too much and another group of thugs challenge those, you think that these guys will be better or not that abusive as these guys. But still there will be thugs that will ask for protection. But you think they're going to be not that deep and rough as the first ones. But with time, these guys, if they will not have competition, these guys will be eliminated. They will become more and more tyrannical. Because they try to show, hey, we're not as bad as these guys. If these guys, hey, we're not as bad as these guys, choose us, give us the money, don't give them. Because otherwise you're gonna, hey, I would like them. It's not like they ask you. But in this case, I think you understand the analogy I'm trying to make here. Countries try to belong so they feel defended against the proven, how should I put it? Whatever. Side. I don't want to go too deep because I don't know what YouTube is. You know what I mean? And I still want to see you, and I guess you want to see me as well. So let's play dumb. All right, it's not hard. Tell you that. Actually, it's hard because sometimes you're about to make a mistake and say something that you really, really, really think it fits the sentence and you're like, oh man, I have to water it a little bit. So, you know what I mean? And it's not going to be the same impact. All right, so Lula is going to fight for that. Lula is what, 76, 77? He's not going to, I don't know, but this attitude of arrogance, I think, made the United States pay by having Russia and China being like this right now. Again, against them. Not because they like one another, the Russians, the Chinese, you know what I mean? I was about to show something, but you see, YouTube. So anyway, and not only, but that they push them together, and many other countries will flock to this group, unfortunately. So thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart. The dollarization will come slowly, but will. And if it's not going to really push the dollar to the side, it will take a chunk of it. And that would make us work harder here, because we can just print money, give people papers, and they give us product. Basically, that's what's happening. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.